Donald Trump just did something that's going to affect your credit scores.
It would be the difference between a couple $100s to a few thousand a month.
And some people even saw their credit scores drop by as much as 200 points.
Income contingent plan, income-based repayment, or the pay-as-you-earn plan, you need to sit down and buckle up for this.
Newsweek also said that student loan borrowers will see payments soar after Trump's recent changes. In this video, I'm going to break down 5 things you need to know right now about Donald Trump and the Department of Education. Also, I'm going to break down how that's going to affect you and your credit scores. All right, we have a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Here's what Donald Trump just did.
Well, President Trump is moving to dismantle the Department of Education. Now, the president signed an executive order Thursday that the White House says will begin the process of shutting down the agency first established under the Carter administration. President Trump has repeatedly said his goal is to return education to the states, although the department does not dictate the curriculum for schools and accounts for less than 10% of public school funding. Now, the department, for context, is responsible for distributing student loans, funding special needs programs, supporting students living in poverty, providing research on national education, and enforcing civil rights laws. Now, fully eliminating the agency requires an act of Congress, but the administration has already taken steps to shrink its footprint. Last week, Education Secretary Linda McMahon fired about half of the agency's staff. President Trump says the changes will be swift.
My administration will take all lawful steps to shut down the department. We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible.
Now, I will say this. Donald Trump has tried to make a lot of changes this year, and not all of them have been able to go through. Some of them are still in court as we're having this conversation right now. Now, the big question is, what's going to happen next? Here's what you need to know. Number 1, keep paying your student loans. I know it's been difficult, okay? But here's the thing. Obviously, if you can't afford it, then you simply cannot afford it. But if you are in a position where you're in deferment, obviously try your best to keep that in deferment. Now, many of you have already started your income-driven repayment plan. And listen, the good news is that that's going to stay the same for you. But the people that are going to see the biggest problems are going to be people that have not applied yet for an income-based repayment plan.
If you have student loans and you are currently repaying your student loans through the income contingent plan, income-based repayment, or the pay-as-you-earn plan, you need to sit down and buckle up for this, because what Trump has recently done has pretty much taken away that application. So not only can new people apply for that program, but when you go to recertify your loan, your application every year so they can figure out your new monthly payment that you're going to pay based on your income of that year, that is no longer available, which means you will be put on a standard plan. And I want to point out in this photo that Biden created the SAVE plan to help people pay off their student debt faster or have lower monthly payments so that they can have a roof over their house and feed their children. And what Trump has done has just reversed it.
Listen, that means that your student loan monthly payments are going to be based on how much money you're actually bringing in. And that's what's making people so upset, is that now they're in a position where they not only don't want to pay their student loans, but they are paying their student loans. But now they're in a position where they simply can't afford to do so. And what happens if you don't pay something that's on your credit report? Your credit score is going to drop. Newsweek recently talked about it as well. They said how credit scores are plummeting for student loan borrowers. And this is before the change was already happening, because many of those student loans were coming out of deferment. And they said that they were unaware that they had even missed payments until they were notified by third-party agencies that their credit scores had dropped by as much as 200 points. Real quick, be sure to download our free ebook today. All you got to do is scan this QR code right here or click the link in the description below. Now back to the video. And here's something that's going to make more credit scores drop, is that student loan borrowers are seeing their payments soar after Trump's recent changes, okay? And so since he updated the income-driven federal student loan repayment programs, this has caused some borrowers to see their monthly payments rise anywhere from $500 a month to $5,000 a month.
Take a look at this. If you're a student or graduate and try to access your income-driven repayment plans, you can't. The Trump administration suspended them.
How much would you be paying if you were on a income-driven repayment plan versus it being suspended and you not being an income-based plan?
It would be the difference between a couple $100s to a few thousand a month, truly.
I've been checking in on federal employees recently laid off. I met with Leanne Tiffany and Sarah Newman after the student loan suspension because both graduated undergrad and graduate school with loans. Sarah says she was lucky that hers were recently forgiven under the Biden administration.
You mentioned you had upwards of $100,000 in loans. If they weren't forgiven at the second that they were, and this all just happened to you, you were just laid off, you're not sure of your future, how would you be holding your head above water?
I don't know that I would be.
The suspension is expected to impact 12 million students currently on the income-based plans.
So again, it's not that people don't want to pay their student loans. I'm sure that they don't, but they're in a position where they simply can't afford it. But I don't want you all to just hear from me. Check this out.
If what is happening to federal student loan borrowers right now happened to your mortgage, you would riot. You are not a victim of your mortgage in the way that federal student loan borrowers right now are victims of predatory changing contracts from what we signed when we took on these loans. Let me explain it in mortgage terms. Let's say you took out a mortgage, you signed a 30-year mortgage. The amount that you pay every month that goes towards principal and interest never changes. The amount that you're paying back towards the money you borrowed from the bank literally will never change. Here's what's happening to student loan borrowers. You signed a 30-year mortgage. Tomorrow, Mr. Bank calls you and says, actually, starting 2 months from now, we're switching you over to a 10-year mortgage. And your monthly payment is going to change to the amount that will pay off the rest of your loan in the next 10 years. That is what's happening to student loan borrowers right now. Yes, your taxes might go up, your insurance go up, but what you're paying towards what you borrowed will never, ever, ever change.
Now let's go into number 2. Who's going to handle student loans going forward?
I do want to say that I've decided that the SBA, the Small Business Administration, headed by Kelly Loeffler, is a terrific person, will handle all of the student loan portfolio. We have a portfolio that's very large, lots of loans, tens of thousands of loans, pretty complicated deal. And that's coming out of the Department of Education immediately, and it's going to be headed up by Kelly Loeffler at SBA, and they're all set for it. They're waiting for it. It'll be serviced much better than it has in the past. It's been a mess. And also, Bobby Kennedy, the Health and Human Services, will be handling special needs and all of the nutrition programs and everything else. Rather complex, but that's going to be headed by and handled by Health and Human Services. So I think that'll work out very well. Those two elements will be taken out of the Department of Education. And
some people got it confused, like this delusional guy right here.
I don't know why y'all mad at our president, baby. He did the big one today. I'm all for what he did. I don't care what you say. 47 did that big thing. I'm about to call all my student loan people and tell them, them loans are null and void because it was signed with an auto opinion. That's right. They are illegal. It never happened. That's what Big One said today. That's what President Trump said today, number 47. All them student loans ain't no good. Why? Because Biden auto-pinned it. He auto-piloted it. He didn't sign off on it. So I don't got no student loans. As far as I'm concerned, y'all better be happy with Donald Trump. I'm calling all my student loan people, let them know, nope, I ain't no good. It was auto-signed. It was auto-pinned. It was never me. It was never the president of the United States of America. So I don't own no student loans. Yeah.
Now let's go into number 4. New financial aid applications are more than likely going to be delayed. So for people that are going to school, whether it's the next semester or going to school for the summer or just trying to get extended education, again, these are people, these are doctors, these are lawyers, these are teachers. These are people that simply need degrees in order for them to move forward. And not everyone is going to school around the same time of the year. It's nothing wrong with getting student loans. That's not the problem. The problem is that people are in a position where they simply cannot pay them.
This new move could reduce oversight over how those funds are used.
If there's no Department of Education, there's nobody who's holding states accountable to actually spend the money the way it's supposed to be spent.
Richard Barrera is vice president of the San Diego Unified School Board.
There's no way that the SBA will be able to keep up not only with the current people that are paying their student loans, people that are default on their student loans, people that have questions about their student loans, and then new applications for people that are trying to actually apply for new student loans. The FAFSA application process is already daunting for not just the students or the people that want to go to college, but people that are on the back end to try to do customer service. These people are used to people calling about small business loans and things of that sort. that is a completely different process.
They have a lot of tools that they can use against you. They can garnish your wages. They can garnish your tax return if you're one of the people that are lucky enough to actually get one with the current Trump tax plan in place. They can even garnish your Social Security benefits. They can pursue a suit against you and get a judgment and lien your real property. So really putting your home on the table. Anything that you own, as a matter of fact.
And number 5, you're not going to like this one. There's a chance that your loan repayment plans are going to change again. Here's why. It's under new management. They're going to make sure that what makes sense to them is what's going to happen, okay? That's another reason why the Department of Education was also dismantled. They felt like they could not only take care of this particular sector, but that they couldn't take care of other sectors as well. Regardless of what you think about this, anytime that you are giving a new task to a new organization, some things are most definitely going to be out of whack. And it's not just student loans that are based on income. We're talking about some programs may go away entirely. Let me know if you made it to the end, and also let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We'll see you guys on the next video.